Hey guys, and welcome back. So I thought I'd do a video on how I'm cleaning the engine bay for paint. So problem with, well, the 28 that was in it used to leak oil. Well, I wouldn't say leak oil, but it used to have a lot of residue laying around. The power steering rack was covered in crap. The edge of these rails here was all covered in crap. There was shit everywhere on it. So what I did, and I'll go through the tools and I'll see if I got a before photo of how dirty it was in here, and then an after. So what I did was I got a air degreaser gun. So this is just a Black Ride cheap air degreaser gun that came with one of the compressors we brought a long time ago. Put the degreaser in, hook it up to your air line and spray away. So let's put that back. So first I blew it down with an air line and blew all the loose stuff out that I could. Then I went through and degreased the entire engine bay, all this stuff in here. There's still water all over the place, but as you can see, like, it's quite, this is all dry. The degreaser's eaten most of it, so it's just flaking off. We've cleaned up most of it, so tomorrow I'm going to go over with the sander and just give it another sand. So we let the degreaser set for 15-20 minutes and let it sort of etch into everything that it could. We'll probably give it another water blast tomorrow maybe, see how it comes up once everything's dry. And then from there I got the water blaster out. So we've just got a cheap water blaster that does one solid jet, and I went through and I just water blasted everything, so it's eaten. The degreaser got a lot of the horrible spray paint done by a previous owner off, and it's sort of eaten a lot of the oil and got rid of that. It's sort of down here where the factory paint was quite thin, it's taken it back to primer, which is what this is. So this is all primer. There's still paint on it, but at the end of the day, I'll do half a dozen coats of primer when I paint it, probably 3 or 4, and then from there I'll switch over and we'll use up most of the entire litre of the burnt copper black, which is the finished colour, and then after that we'll clear over top. So it doesn't really matter as long as the primer has something to stick to. At that point I'll pull out before we paint it, the boosters will all be coming out and they'll be sitting in the car. I'll cover up the steering rack with some plastic. That will be coming out in the future, and I'll be redoing bushes and probably when I put all the front camber arm system in and shit like that after cert. I'll drop the front subframe out at some point, or when I put the next motor in it, which will be quite a way down the track, but yeah, we'll work all that out in the future. But yeah, it sort of gives you an idea. Degreaser wise, I just went to Bunnings and brought the not cheap degreaser, but it was I brought 1.5 litres for $8, so it's cheaper than buying it from Super Cheap or Repco or wherever you buy it from. It does the job, but at work we use a lot of eco degreaser, which is green, and that stuff is just gold. I might try see if I can get some at some point to do other jobs around the place. I've still got to fill in this here and try to push a bit more of this up where it pushed the front in when I crashed. But I've had all the kit on, which you might have seen on Instagram, and I've lined everything up and it all still lines up sweet, and it'll be pretty good once it's done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Just thought I'd make a quick video to help anyone out who's going to be looking at prepping their engine bay for paint, and sort of some of the steps, because I've seen people go through and they've sanded and then they're primed over top, and the primer's reacted with the oil and everything, because engine bays aren't exactly the cleanest part of your car. There's so much area down here for mud and water, and steering racks leak and all sorts of other stuff, especially with old cars where people don't replace the lines. It's real common to get like oil, power steering fluid. I actually had a leak in the AC system we found afterwards, and that stuff absolutely stinks if you ever remove your AC system. So there's a lot of contaminants in the engine bay that you really want to get out, and if you're like in a situation like I am where you pretty much got a bare engine bay with no loom, which is all up there, which is hanging over the side when I was water blasting, it sort of gives you the chance to go through and do it once and do it right. Like, if I went back a couple of years and I had the motor out, I probably would have just hit it with some gloss black rattle cans. Where I'm at the point now, I want to do things properly. I could pay someone to paint the engine bay, but when we've got all the gear, we've done a fair bit of painting over the last year, I'm pretty confident that we can't really stuff up an engine bay, and realistically the only parts of the engine bay that you actually see once the motor's in are the strut sides and the front. Whoever painted it in the past forgot to do under the guards, so we'll be doing right to the doors, all the front support system. We'll be going all the way through here and cleaning up all these welds and probably putting a couple more spot welds on and just tidying everything up. I've got new rubber grommets to go in here. I've actually got a cut that I might put back into here from the Series 2 front that got squished, so it's actually the correct side. But it doesn't really matter. I've got to come through and adjust a few of these because these got bent in the crash, as you can see. It's sort of kinked a little bit. But realistically, for the impact and what it looks like after the crash, it's actually come together quite nicely. Like, none of this was bent. The bonnet got bent up because when it hit the post, it sort of kinked the bonnet on an angle and bent this latch, which I have spares. Still got to do a little tap work and shit, but it'll all be fine finished stuff that is going to have to be changed and altered a bit, but I'm not too worried about it. Like, I did think about reshelling this car, so pretty much take all the body kit, put it onto another shell that hadn't had a front impact, and pretty much start fresh. But I've sort of got a sentimental attachment to this car. Like, it was the first car I wouldn't say the first car I ever bought. I had an 850 Mini before that when I was at college, and then I had a Mazda 323 hatch, which I modified with lowering springs and Sparko rims and did a few bits to that. But this was sort of, at that point I was on my learners. I couldn't drive without without a parent with me, and I only owned the 323 for 2 months before I bought this. So this car has been in my possession pretty much right from me getting my license. So it's sort of a personal attachment to the car, and like, yeah, to me, like, spending the money rebuilding it, to most people would seem stupid. To me, I don't gamble, I barely drink, so it's sort of like people spend money on other things, and if I spend $1,000 rebuilding this, I know people who spend $1,000 on the pokey a month. So it's just one of those things that I could have easily just finished, like redid the front car, kept the motor in it while I was doing that, new front guards, bumper and bonnet, and continued driving it. Instead, I've gone the route of redo the entire kit, GDR spoiler, wide body rear guards, 20 det. There's so many things that I didn't need to do, but like, I could have got the car back on the road how it was and driven it round, but at the same time I would have hit the issue I was in when the car was running, where I had all these plans like the wide body and the big, like the turbo motor and all that kind of stuff. But to do that, I'd have to take the car off the road, and yeah, it's a never-ending cycle. A lot of people I know who have been in the same position agree that you get sucked in, like, you don't want to stop driving the car to do the mods. So I guess I made a decision for me, and I'm enjoying building it. Like, it's actually quite nice to have it right next to the workshop now, where I can just come out, tinker on the car a little bit, go back home, and muck around when I feel like it. And I'm in no rush. Like, I did want to get it ready for Force and Rotors in March. Whether I get there is one thing, whether I don't is another, but it is what it is. That I don't want to rush this and end up with a half-assed car. I want to sort of have this as a statement piece, because it started as pretty much factory. All it was missing was factory rims, 33, and now it's got full wide body kit, wide body rear guards, GDR spoiler, 20 depth. So yeah, it's complete change from the car, and I'll be doing a video coming up of pretty much looking at the car when I first purchased it, because I've only got photos, I haven't got any videos of it. I think I do have videos, but just the change, like the phases this car has gone through as I've put things on it. I remember 3 years ago when I put the Superlos in, and it was like $350 for a set of Superlos. It was what I classed back then as big money, because I was working minimum wage job, and now I'm out spending $900 on body kits. I've got thousands tied up in motors and things like that. I've got Mark X sitting over there. It's sort of funny how your life changes as you earn more money and everything else. But that'll be another video. If you guys want to see any more reviews on the gear we use, whether it's the compressors, the guns and all that kind of stuff, I'll probably be doing a review on the spray gun with proper video. One of my mates has got a tripod over here, so I'll probably set that up and we'll get some actual video of us painting this engine bay, because the hardest part is doing things while trying to record it. It's just a pain, especially when it's just me. I haven't got anyone recording for me. So, but yeah, you guys understand, small YouTuber problems. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Back to work on Monday, sadly. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace out.